Good evening. I'm your host, Itago, and welcome to Primetime. The ongoing dispute between BDF Insurance and pub owners around the country has been on our headlines for the past week. These pub owners feel that they should be compensated by the loss of income due to the coronavirus pandemic. Tonight we are joined by three of the major stakeholders in this situation. Brian Root, spokesperson for BDF Insurance, Keane Itzen, an independent actuary from Thames Consultancy, and Connie Forum of the political party Pillars of Society. To begin with, Brian, will you explain to us why you are more than happy to collect insurance premiums from your customers? When time comes to pay out, you hide behind technicalities.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on, Nita, I'll say first of all. And I suppose it's not actually technicalities. I want to make one thing very clear. We've honoured all of our obligations to all our customers, and we continue to do so. The reality is, the claims that are being made against us are that we're not paying out, where if you actually look at the real circumstances, these clients didn't have pandemic insurance. Pandemic insurance is a very specific kind of insurance. So no, we didn't cover them, so we can't pay them out. That's just how insurance works.
But the reality is, we are in unprecedented times. No one could predict the pandemic, and your customers believe they were covered with income protection insurance. Excuse me, I'm speaking. How can you justify telling your customers to go to the English market when they already have an insurance premium with you? What are these pub owners supposed to tell their employees, ordinary people around the country, struggling in the middle of a global pandemic?
I could sit here and list out the jargon about the IFRS reporting that precludes us from actually paying out these erroneous claims. The reality is, this is not digestible by the ordinary public. I'm not going to sit here and try and explain to you the background workings of how an actuarial firm operates.
We have Keane here to explain these technicalities to the general public.
Thanks for bringing me on. This explanation that Brian has provided is simply a work of fiction, and the IFRS reporting is not relevant here in any case. The reality is that these publicans have paid large premiums so that they are covered in case of losses due to a pandemic, but when the pandemic arrives and the losses arrive, DBF has refused to pay out the claim. This is based on a small line in the contract saying that they're covered if a pandemic occurs within 10 kilometres of the pub, but as we all know, COVID has been nationwide for months, so this excuse is simply an attempt to get out of wrongful payments.
Can we have your view, please, Connie, on exactly what the government's stance is on this tin excuse given by BDF Insurance?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on, Nisha. I think we all need to remember that all parties are extremely affected in this unprecedented times. We all need to give each other a little bit of leeway to get things done. Brian Root has confirmed to me that there will be a full investigation.
Yeah, I did say that. I said we're going to be completely transparent, and we're working fully with the government, and everything is above board. So there you go.
Yeah, thanks so much for that, Brian. There. So yeah, it has been confirmed that the full tribunal will be held. This could take a month. Could take a year, but what we do need to remember is that we're lucky that we live in such a democratic society and justice will be taken.
With all due respect, please, TD, I don't think any of us voted for this, and with the recent track record of 2- and 3-year tribunals, I don't believe the general public believes you either.
I'm really sorry if that's your opinion, we are the government in Canada.
Earlier today, I spoke with a pub owner and your own constituency politician. Here is Mary, a pub owner at the forefront of this lawsuit. Well listen, first of all, Ida, thank you for having me here today. I'm not out to make false claims. I'm just an ordinary citizen and taxpayer, and I've been a loyal customer to BDF Insurance for the past 20 years. I pay my premiums every year, increasing year on year, mind you, and now I'm told the first time I go to make a claim that I'm not insured and I should have gone to the English market. I just don't understand how they can sell me a product and then turn around after they've taken my money and say I'm not covered. I feel like they should have to answer for this.
I might just respond to that, Ida, if that's all right. Well, I'm very sympathetic to Mary in this situation, in the situation she finds herself in. We've done our own investigations, and in the periods prior to the coronavirus, the public and industry was booming. So it seems to me this comes down to a lack of proper planning on the part of the publicans. They didn't get the right insurance cover. They haven't put enough money aside. That is the fault of their business model, nothing to do with us.
So I'd like to intercede here. This is a clear attempt to mislead the public. The purpose of insurers, and particularly actuaries, is to manage risk on the behalf of consumer welfare. This here is just an attempt to smear the publicans for daring to make profits in normal times.
What are you talking?
Excuse me, I was respectful while you were talking. This is a debate.
Smear campaign. It's not a smear campaign. It's not
Absolutely
really a debate
it is.
either. I've had enough of this debate.
That there shows the weakness of his argument. As an insurer and as an actuary for DBF, one of two things should have happened. If the risk of paying out these claims was too high that DBF couldn't sustain it, then the policies should not have been written. Or on the other hand, if the policies were written, then they should have been paid out in the spirit of what was written. But what has actually happened is that DBF is trying to have their cake and eat it too by taking in huge premiums and then fighting these claims tooth and nail in the courts to avoid paying out.
Yeah, and I'd also like to add on there, Ita, that Brian actually never disclosed any of this information to us, and we will now carry out our own separate investigation.
Well, I'm afraid that's all we have time for this evening. I'd like to thank my two remaining speakers, and we will see you again next week.